Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a while. Welcome back to my channel. I've changed a lot in recent years, even in recent months. Um, and I want to talk about all of that. So, you might have noticed I changed the name of my channel again. Um, if you don't know the history of my channel, my original channel name was The Serious Christian. I was going by that name when I was way more religious than I am now. I was not a toxic Christian. I was a respectful Christian, and I didn't use the Bible to justify my toxic beliefs or whatever, as a lot of people do. But that's a different topic for a different time. Uh, if I do get around to that, but whatever. Um, and then I, because I eventually had a change in my belief, um, which was agnostic. Like late 2018, early 2019, I no longer had that faith anymore. I'm still hopeful. I'm still positive, and I am open to certain things like the possibility of reincarnation. Um, but like I'm not opposed to angels and hell and God and all that, and I am not fully fully uh, a believer in those either. So I'm like in the middle. Um, and after that, I went by the name Radioactive Falcon Entertainment. And then after I decided to stop making content, I used my birth name. Um, and I use Radioactive Falcon as my name when I make music. When I did make music, haven't in a long time, but yeah. And now it is, as you can see, Xander. That is my chosen name. I have decided to go by that name rather than my birth name because I no longer have a strong connection to my birth name. It's just, it doesn't feel like me anymore when people call me that. It's like, oh, who are you talking to, kind of thing. Like that doesn't feel like me anymore. I don't know how else to explain it, but it doesn't give me gender dysphoria exactly. It's just incorrect, and it's like not a vibe. And I like the name Xander. Um, it was an option like when I was a kid. It was an option for an for like it was a possible name that I would have gone by. It was one of the choices. My mom picked it out, and I decided to go by that because I like it. I like how it looks, especially with the X instead of a Z. And I like the nicknames Zan and Zanny, also with also with also starting with X's. Um, and I also use they them pronouns. As I only use they them pronouns. I no longer use he him, and I also use other gender neutral language to accurately describe and refer to myself. They accurately describe and reflect who I am. A masculine language does not do that. Um, Similar to my birth name, when people use gendered language to refer to me, it's like that's not accurate. That's not who I am. And it's like they see me as someone else, and they don't see me as my true self. So yeah, I've been going by this name since January 4th, officially since January 4th. I couldn't sleep, and it was either like very late January 3rd or very early January 4th. It was at night. Couldn't sleep because I was thinking about going by a different name, and I wanted to talk to my mom about that. So I talked to her first, and then later on, when it was brighter outside, I talked to people on Instagram and Facebook and said, "Hey, I want to go by a different name," and the whole story of like how I came up with it and why I want to go by a different name and all of that stuff. So yeah, and if you don't know the history of my gender journey, I came out as non-binary trans in November of 2018. And I'll define those terms. So, non-binary is an umbrella term that refers to anyone who doesn't strictly identify as a man or a woman. In other words, they identify as both, neither, somewhere between, or something entirely different. Personally, I'm agender, which has different meanings, but I use it interchangeably with the word genderless. So, in other words, I don't feel like or perceive myself as any gender in particular. I am literally just a person. And trans means I don't identify with the gender I was assigned at birth. Now, not every non binary person identifies as trans, but I do, because it makes sense when you compare the definitions. And trans means you don't identify with the gender you assigned at birth. Um, and the genders you were assigned at birth are either man or like boy slash man or girl slash woman. And non-binary people don't fit into that binary. So you can see that it makes sense for some non-binary people to also consider themselves trans. So that's who I am. And because I have gender dysphoria, mostly social dysphoria, and then after that, I experience a fairly large amount of body dysphoria, usually bottom dysphoria, not top dysphoria, but not as much as I experience social dysphoria. It's usually in social situations, and body dysphoria for me, at least, can sometimes trigger. Social dysphoria can sometimes trigger my body dysphoria, and I don't have a lot of mind dysphoria. So because I experienced gender dysphoria, I would like to medically transition so that my body matches how I feel on the inside. I am neither a man nor a woman, so I want to look like neither a man nor a woman. Just want people to look at me and be like, "Oh, is that a guy or a girl?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just a person." So I want them to basically be confused about my gender and not assume I'm just a genderless entity. um, Yeah, but it is um difficult being different, and I'm different in so many ways, and I believe I would feel less dysphoric, more comfortable, and happier um if I medically transitioned. Now, I won't say what surgeries I will be having, or what surgery I'll be having, because that's a little too invasive. And I won't be answering any invasive or inappropriate questions. And if there's any hate, um, I will do whatever I need to be safe and comfortable in situations like that, whether it's on here or on other socials. Um, and I am also looking into hormone replacement therapy, or HRT for short. Um, Specifically, estrogen, um, as the hormone, um, may or may not have other hormones. There's also progesterone, but there's some risks with that, and there's risks with all hormones, but there's like ones for that I do not want at all, and I still need to talk to a gender therapist and maybe see some other professionals about doing this, because there's still a lot of steps I need to take before I actually go through with it, and I have a bunch of questions I need to ask them. Um, and I don't know if you noticed, but I deleted a bunch of my videos because they were associated with who I used to be slash who I thought I was. Going by my dead name, being perceived as a man, and and people using masculine language to refer to me as like my past self. Um, and it's like that's not who I am anymore, and I want to be authentic and true to myself, and I want to live happy and an authentic life. I want to be myself in more parts of my life. And I felt like telling y'all all of that because YouTube was part of my life for a long time, and you've seen all my videos, and I didn't want to hide this from people. Like, if I make more content in the future, it's like I look different, I'm using different language to refer to myself, and you're like, what's going on? So, and I don't even know if I'm gonna make more content. Also, I uh made the the videos I kept on my channel, I made private. Now, I may make them public again, or I may make them unlisted. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna delete this channel because it is connected to many important things of mine, and there's so much history with this channel. So, I may make another channel where I talk about LGBTQ plus stuff. That would be fun. Or, like, I may join someone else's channel. Like, maybe I meet someone, make some new friends, have some partners in the future whom I collab with or whatever. We have a channel together. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's a lot of work to do everything on my own, and that's why I took a long break. Um, but I don't want to make content by myself. And if y'all want to join me on my journey and keep up to date with where I'm at, um, keep in touch with me. You can follow me on Instagram and or TikTok. My Instagram is at the Frog Freak. No periods, no underscores, no hyphens, none of that. Just the Frog Freak. Just those words. And my TikTok is at Zan underscore the underscore pan. Xan with an X, obviously, because that's how Xander is. That's how the name Xander starts off as. So that's how it's spelled. How I spell it. And if anyone is disrespectful, I would do, as I said, I will do whatever I need to be safe and comfortable. I have taken precautions. My Instagram account and TikTok account are both private, just so random people don't follow me and uh, spam, hate, and stuff, anything like that. And I have taken a bunch of precautions on Instagram as well. So, and I haven't been posting a lot of stuff on TikTok, but if I do go through with my medical transition, which I most likely will do, um, I want to make some transition related videos like, hey, this is me 1 month on estrogen or whatever the case may be. These are the changes it's doing to my body, and this is how I look, and like, and just anything, or like, and on Instagram I post stuff like that too. I mostly post frog related stuff. That there's always some frog toy or plush or whatever in the posts, or even clothes or whatever. But I do post photos with inspiring captions, or like funny captions, some quotes from songs or other things that people have said, and LGBTQ plus related stuff, because I'm all about equality and human rights, and I'm in that community as well, in many parts of that community actually. So my accounts are safe spaces. And yeah, so if y'all are interested, um, check those out. And when you follow me, send a message just so I know you aren't some random person. If you do, if anyone sees this video, and if you do decide to follow me, just so I don't know, just so I know you aren't a troll or like some stranger who I have no idea who you are. Cause sometimes I get that, and it's like it makes me feel unsafe or uncomfortable, and I'm like, why are you following me? Who is this? And like I'm very careful with who I follow, because in the past, like, there were a lot of people who followed me who spread hate. But as I said, I take precautions, so I'm careful, and I've learned, I'm wise and mature. So yeah, just if you could say a message like, hey, I saw your video, and I support you, or something that tells me that you are chill and respectful, and that you came from here and not some other place, because I want to spread uh, correct information, because a lot of misinformation is out there, and it spreads like wildfires. And like I said, like, you may be wondering where I am, what I'm doing, and like, if I came back and I looked and sounded or seemed like a different person, it's like, oh, what's going on? I have no idea who you are anymore, or like, you're going by a different name. What happened? I need an explanation or whatever. No, like, and like, I don't. I know I'm not obligated to give people an explanation of who I am, but sometimes it helps when you want to like be yourself, when you want to be honest with people, and when you don't want to hide from them. And people, sometimes people are just curious, and they want to know how to refer to you, and everyone uses different language to refer to themselves, and it's important to use the correct language. So yeah, so to sum everything up, my name is Xander. You can call me Zan or Zanny if you want. My pronouns are they, them, and please use gender neutral language to refer to me. So, like, instead of brother, sibling, instead of um, son, child, or kid, um, like any word that is inherently gender neutral, that does not have anything to do with one's gender, that does not imply gender whatsoever. Those are the correct words to use to refer to me. Um, and I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanna talk about right now. Um, as always remember to think positive, keep your chin up, take a deep breath and move on, and I will see you whenever, wherever. Have a good rest of your day and a good life.